Cam here, and we finally got life in the tropics. And we have some areas to watch in the tropics. I've had to switch to the infrared view, which is really a good tool because we can see thunderstorm activity. In meteorology, we call that convection. The most interesting thing right now is this tropical low right here. As you can tell, it does have some convection with it, and it's starting to rotate. The National Hurricane Center says it's a mid-level circulation. It's not at the surface yet. But earlier today, they estimated gale force winds in it. If it develops a closed circulation, it would likely be given the name Danielle. However, this tropical low does have some obstacles. Right up here, I'm trying to make a U-shaped here, is some dry air. That could limit development. There's also some shearing winds coming from the southwest here that could also limit it. On the other hand, it is going to be going over warm waters. So it is possible it does develop. Some of the models actually do develop it into a tropical storm. But if it did, it's really not going to be a threat. Another area to watch, and you probably can't see it, but it's right here. Don't have many thunderstorms with it, but it's a tropical low. This is supposed to drift slowly over the Yucatan Peninsula, which is right here where I'm pointing. This one's kind of iffy if it will develop. The GFS and ICON models develop it when it gets into the Gulf here. The GFS is really developing it into a hurricane. The Euro and Canadian models are not. If this thing does develop, how it interacts with land is going to be key. If it goes more inland, it'll be going over a mountainous terrain and it's not going to do much. But if it emerges in the Gulf, that's when it could come to life. So this is one that could go either way. Now, over here is a tropical low, also known as a tropical wave, that just came off the coast of Africa. Some of the models develop it when it gets right here near the central Atlantic later in the week. How strong it gets and if it develops is up in the air. Behind that, later in the week, we'll have another tropical wave that will come off Africa, and most models develop it into something. Right now, the hurricane season has been off to a slow start. We've only had 3 named storms. However, we're in a weak La Nina pattern, which tends to favor tropical storm activity. But there is a reason why this season has started off slow. Most of the Atlantic and the developmental zones has been dominated by sea air and dust. Also, well, you can't really see it, but most of Africa where these tropical waves emerge has been in a drought. So that's why we haven't seen moisture. But that's starting to change. If you remember in 2020 and 2021, there was rich moisture and it was like a conveyor belt with tropical waves. On the other hand, there is some things that could cause the tropics to go haywire, like they did in 2018 and 2019. Water temperatures are above average. And the reason I mentioned 2018 and 2019, 2018 got off to a slow start. The fourth and fifth named storm did not develop till the last few days of August. Then came a flood of tropical activity in September, October, and even November. 2019 started off slow, but then at the very end of August, a tropical wave formed that became Dorian, which ended up being a Category 5 hurricane. Then came more activities in September, October, and even November. So we're still not even at the peak of the hurricane season. Yet climatology-wise, this usually starts to peak and goes to late October. Anyway, that is what's going on in the tropics. Don't forget to subscribe